Believe it or not, when she doesn't call or message you for a long time, it means Stoicism, modern Stoic. Believe it or not, when she doesn't reach out for days, weeks, or even longer, it's not just coincidence. It's a signal, one rooted deeply in human behavior and psychology. And the principles of Stoicism offer us the tools to understand it more clearly. I know what you're thinking. Maybe she's busy, or perhaps her pet cat has decided to launch a world tour. But let's set aside the humour for a moment. If you fail to understand the deeper psychology behind her silence, you might find yourself endlessly chasing something that doesn't exist, all while sacrificing your own inner peace. Today, I want to help you decode what her silence truly means, and why embracing Stoic principles could not only protect your mental well-being, but also offer clarity in relationships. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." In this case, it's about learning to want less from the outside world and finding strength within. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might discover a perspective on women and on life that could change everything for you. 1. It might mean she's testing your emotional control. Silence. It's more than just an absence of words. It's a subtle but powerful tool, a strategy used by some women, whether consciously or not, to gauge something very specific: your emotional control. Think about it. When she doesn't reach out, doesn't text or call, what's your first reaction? Do you feel a spike of anxiety? Do you start obsessively checking your phone, waiting for the buzz that may or may not come? Perhaps you find yourself typing out a message, only to delete it, then type again, unsure whether you're being too eager or too distant. Maybe you even consider writing an elaborate, poetic message at 2 a.m, just to declare your devotion. We've all been there, and it's completely natural. But here's the thing. This silence isn't a mere absence of communication. It's a test, a reflection of something much deeper: your emotional control. As Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher, once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." The silence, in this case, isn't random. It's the obstacle that forces you to examine your reaction, to see if you're capable of maintaining control when the emotional urge to act impulsively arises. In Stoicism, the true measure of a man isn't how he behaves when life is smooth and predictable. No, it's how he handles the moments of uncertainty, the gaps, the silences. It's how you respond when you can't control the situation but can control yourself. So let's take a quick pop quiz. If your phone buzzed right now, would you jump at the sound like a startled cat seeing a cucumber? No judgment here. Just be honest with yourself. This test, the silence, is not just a test of patience, but of emotional discipline. The real measure isn't whether you feel anxious or eager. It's about how you handle that emotion, how you pause before reacting. Do you chase after her, or do you take a breath and remind yourself that your worth is not determined by her response? In the world of Stoicism, the goal is to remain steadfast, unshaken by external circumstances. And that's exactly what her silence might be trying to reveal to you, whether you've mastered your own emotions or whether your emotions still have the upper hand. What follows next in this silent exchange might surprise you. It's not just a test of your control. It could very well be a silent invitation for you to level up in ways you haven't even considered. Silence, after all, often speaks louder than words. It challenges you to reflect, to grow, and to become a better version of yourself. This is your chance to step up and show the world, not just her, but yourself, that you've learned the most powerful lesson, that emotional control is the key to mastering your life. So next time you find yourself caught in that quiet moment, remember to breathe, to step back, and to assess. The silence might be more of an opportunity than you realize. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever experienced this kind of emotional test? And how did you handle it? If you found this valuable, comment below and share it with someone who could benefit. Don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom. Comment below. I control my emotions, and my emotional strength defines me. Let's hear how you've handled the test of silence. 2. It might be an invitation to reclaim your own power. What if her silence isn't rejection, but rather an invitation? A mysterious, hidden opportunity you never expected, a challenge calling you to rise. In the philosophy of Stoicism, true power isn't found in the control we exert over others, but in the mastery we achieve over ourselves. When she pulls away and doesn't respond, it's not a sign that you should chase after her. Instead, it's the universe subtly telling you to rise higher. This silence is a chance for you to reconnect with yourself, to refocus your energy, and to recommit to your own purpose. It's a time for you to let go of the urge to obsess over every missed message, and instead ask yourself more profound questions. Who are you becoming as a man? What are you building in your life? What legacy do you want to leave behind? When you shift your focus from seeking her approval to elevating yourself, you'll begin to see the bigger picture. Let's be honest. The man who spends his nights getting frustrated over a missed text message or obsessing over why she hasn't called isn't the man who commands respect. Instead, it's the man who stays grounded, who remains true to his purpose, regardless of who stays or leaves, who attracts rather than chases, and who leads rather than pleads. That's the kind of man who catches attention, not through desperation, but through inner strength and direction. The essence of Stoicism teaches us that our emotional reactions are not weaknesses, but signals for personal growth. Reclaiming your power isn't about suppressing your feelings. It's about owning them, understanding them, and channeling them into your journey toward becoming a man who stands strong in his own skin. Use your emotions as fuel to craft a version of yourself that even you would look up to. But there's a deeper, more profound reason why her silence holds power, a reason that touches the very core of your masculine energy. This final truth will reshape everything you thought you knew about relationships and self-worth. It isn't just about how you handle her silence. It's about how you handle yourself in the silence of your own life. It's about seeing her withdrawal as an opportunity to strengthen your resolve, sharpen your focus, and become the kind of man who has nothing to prove to anyone, not even to her. As you embrace this challenge, you'll realize that you are not waiting for her to complete you. You are already whole, already moving towards something greater. And when you do, when you step into that power, the world will take notice, and she will too. So, I challenge you, think about how you're reacting to the silence in your life. Are you chasing after something that isn't meant for you? Or are you using this time to rise to the occasion, to become the kind of man who stands tall regardless of the distractions around him? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you're reclaiming your power and mastering your own journey. 3. It might mean she's losing interest, and that's your gift. When a woman goes silent, when she stops reaching out, it's easy to feel as though you're being rejected, as though you've done something wrong. You might even begin to question your worth, wondering why she isn't interested anymore, why she's fading out of your life. It stings, like a punch to the gut, like watching a sunset you thought would last forever, only to see it slip away behind a cold, distant horizon. But let me tell you this, that silence, that fading interest is not a sign that you're unworthy. It's not the end of the world. It's actually the beginning of something greater. What you're experiencing right now is nature's way of clearing space in your life. It's not a personal attack. It's not a test or a lesson. It's simply an invitation to move forward, to rise higher, to become better. The modern Stoic understands that loss isn't the enemy. Attachment is. When someone's energy towards you fades, it's not about rejection. It's about redirection. The universe is making room for better things to enter your life. And in this moment, it's important to remember, when someone leaves, they aren't taking away your value. Your value is not tied to who stays or who goes, but to who you are becoming. This is the key distinction that will set you free. Here's where the real power lies. Your worth is anchored in your growth, in your evolution. You are not defined by others' perceptions of you. You are defined by the actions you take, the man you are becoming, the strength you build in the face of adversity. Think of it like a store clearing out old inventory. The things that no longer have value are being moved out to make space for something newer, something shinier, something that fits the next phase of your life. That's what's happening here. Something better is coming. It's always coming, but you have to make room for it, and sometimes that means letting go of the things and even the people who no longer serve your highest good. But let's go deeper. What if her silence has nothing to do with you? What if her emotional state is entirely separate from your actions, from who you are as a person? What if she's going through something personal, something internal that you have no control over? This is where your Stoic mindset must kick in. Because a Stoic man doesn't chase after someone's fleeting energy. He doesn't dwell on things beyond his control. He understands that silence, fading interest. These are not reflections of his own worth or identity. They are simply indicators that it's time to move on, time to elevate, time to focus on what is truly within his power, himself. The Stoic truth is that we can't control the actions of others, nor can we demand their attention. The only thing we control is our own mind, our own thoughts, our own responses. So when faced with silence, when faced with uncertainty, the Stoic man sees this as a moment to build, not to break, to rise, not to fall, to forge himself, rather than cling to something that wasn't meant to be. The silence isn't rejection, it's an opportunity for growth, an invitation to transcend your current self. Ask yourself this: are you trying to glue back together something that was never whole, or are you forging a new, more powerful version of yourself out of the fire of your own experience? Are you allowing yourself to be shaped by the obstacles in front of you, or are you shrinking away from them? Let me tell you this: the pain of her silence will only last as long as you allow it to. You have the power to choose how you respond to this. Do you let it break you, or do you allow it to reshape you into the man you are meant to become? Stoicism teaches us that external events do not have the power to disturb our inner peace unless we let them. Her silence is an external event, and the way you interpret it, the way you let it affect you, is entirely up to you. And now, let me pose a question. What if this silence isn't about you at all? What if this woman is navigating her own internal struggles, her own personal battles that have nothing to do with your actions or behaviour? The beautiful thing about Stoicism is that it trains us to accept that we cannot control others' emotions or actions. We can only control how we react, how we choose to move forward, how we choose to grow from these moments. You may feel abandoned, even rejected, but in reality, this is a chance for you to rise above the noise. This is an opportunity to focus entirely on your own path, to give yourself the time and space to transform. Embrace this silence. Embrace the discomfort. Don't let it define you. Let it drive you to become better. Let it be the spark that ignites your journey toward a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. As Marcus Aurelius said, the obstacle is the way. This moment of silence, this fading interest, it is your obstacle, and in overcoming it, you will forge yourself into a man of even greater strength and wisdom. So take this moment. Don't run from it. Don't shrink back. Rise to the challenge. Let this be the turning point where you let go of the past and embrace the future that awaits. You are not defined by those who leave. You are defined by what you choose to become. If you found value in this video, like, comment, and share it with someone who could benefit from this powerful reminder. Don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom on personal growth and Stoic philosophy. Comment below with this affirmation: I am the master of my own peace. Let's build a community of resilient men who rise above adversity. What's the first step you'll take to grow stronger today? 4. It could mean she's caught in her own emotional storm. Sometimes when she doesn't call or message for an extended period, it's easy to fall into a trap of confusion and self-doubt, but it might not be about you at all. There's a truth that often goes unspoken. Her silence could very well be a result of her own emotional struggles. Just as men face their own internal battles, women too endure moments of emotional turbulence where they feel lost, overwhelmed, or even paralyzed by life's complexities. These silent periods might have nothing to do with you, but rather everything to do with her. When life's challenges hit, she may need space to navigate through her own storm without adding the weight of external expectations. This idea ties in with one of the fundamental principles of Stoicism. Do not take on burdens that aren't yours to carry. Too often, we rush to assume the worst, creating stories in our heads, overthinking what went wrong, and torturing ourselves with endless what-ifs and maybes. The truth is, sometimes the silence isn't personal. It's simply a natural part of navigating the unpredictable emotional landscape of life. Imagine it like this. You don't blame yourself when it rains, do you? You don't step outside, see the thunderstorm brewing, and say, "It's because I forgot to send that text back." Similarly, when someone you care about pulls away, it's not always a reflection of your worth or a failure on your part. Life is full of grief, stress, anxiety, and self-doubt, forces that can make anyone retreat into themselves. It's not about being judged. It's about surviving the emotional storms that everyone faces, regardless of gender. The Stoic approach to this is to observe without jumping to conclusions or assuming negative intentions. A Stoic man offers space when needed, understanding that silence is a form of self-preservation. He doesn't demand answers or seek validation, but instead maintains his center, grounded in his own emotional resilience, regardless of what's happening around him. So ask yourself, are you responding to reality, or are you reacting to a scenario you've built up in your mind? Often, it's the latter. Our imaginations run wild, and we start believing that a lack of communication means something is wrong with us, or that we're unworthy of attention. But that's just a story we tell ourselves. The Stoic man, however, doesn't chase after every fleeting emotion or try to fill every silence with noise. Instead, he recognizes that silence is not an enemy to be feared or conquered, but a part of the human experience, a moment for growth or reflection, even when it's not immediately clear what the cause is. But here's the real twist. Sometimes her silence isn't just about navigating emotional storms or growth. It could be an invitation, one that you might not even realize is being extended. In this case, her silence might be a call for you to reclaim something far greater than her attention. Instead of scrambling to win her back or worrying about the state of the relationship, this silence might be a prompt to focus on yourself, to discover deeper truths about your own needs and desires. Stoicism teaches us that true strength lies in the ability to stand firm, not in the absence of challenges, but in how we handle them. By responding with calm, introspection, and self-respect, we open up the possibility for growth, not just in the relationship, but within ourselves as individuals. Real life often doesn't come with clear answers, and relationships are no exception. In moments of the silence, it's crucial to ask ourselves whether we're reacting to reality or succumbing to fear and imagination. Trust that sometimes the best response is patience and self-reflection. So what's your take on this? Have you experienced these silences? How do you navigate them? And how do you remind yourself that it's okay to not always have the answers? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's keep this conversation going. 5. It could mean she's prioritizing herself, and so should you. Sometimes, when she goes silent, it's not because of something you did or didn't do. It could simply mean she's taking time for herself, focusing on her own needs, her own growth, her own healing. Shocking, right? But that silence isn't a punishment or some calculated move to make you suffer. It's her way of choosing her own path, her goals, her journey. And as surprising as this might sound, it's something you should embrace as well. Why? Because modern Stoicism teaches us that we must first prioritize our own growth and mission. A Stoic man understands the value of discipline, and his life is centered on creating his own world rather than orbiting someone else's. After all, you weren't born to be a supporting actor in someone else's story. You were meant to be the author of your own narrative. Think about it this way. You can't expect her to water your plants if she's too busy tending to her own flourishing jungle. In fact, do you even have a garden worth nurturing yet? This moment of her pulling away is not a sign for you to chase after her. It's a signal for you to double down on your own vision, your own discipline, and yes, your own empire. This phase is an invitation for you to refine your own purpose, to build the foundation of your life with intention, and to focus on what truly matters. When you focus on yourself, something extraordinary happens. You begin to attract the right people, not through chasing or pleading for attention, but through the natural magnetic energy that comes from living a life of purpose. Think about this. If you disappeared for a week, would your absence be felt like a storm, or would it hardly make a ripple in the lives of those around you? Take a moment to reflect on that. What kind of presence do you have? Are you building something so compelling that your absence would leave a noticeable void? Or are you living a life where no one would notice? These are tough but valuable questions. But here's the hard truth. Sometimes her silence isn't merely about her personal growth or focus. It might signal that something is slowly slipping away in the background, fading without fanfare. And that can be painful to accept, but it's necessary. Stoicism teaches us that we must accept the impermanence of everything around us, including relationships, with grace and resilience. At the end of the day, it all circles back to the same lesson. You must become the man who doesn't need validation from others to feel complete. When you stand firm in your purpose, when you invest in your personal growth and discipline, you naturally build a life that is attractive, both to yourself and to others. By focusing on your own path, you allow the world around you to shift in alignment with your newfound energy. Remember, you're not here to chase after anyone or anything. You are here to create a life that commands respect and attention through the strength of your character, not through desperation. So while her silence may feel uncomfortable, use it as a time to reflect on your own growth. Use this moment as fuel for your own transformation. And if she returns, let her find you more grounded, more disciplined, and more aligned with your mission than ever before. Because when you prioritize your own journey, you become the kind of man others can't help but be drawn to. 6. The final truth. Silence reveals your true strength. Silence, when it lingers, reveals a deep truth about who we are and what we're made of. You might think that her silence is a reflection of something lacking in you or your relationship, but in reality, it's a mirror reflecting back at you. In moments of silence, there's no noise, no constant validation, and no distractions. It's just you, stripped down to your most raw, unfiltered self. In this space, there are no words to hold on to, no messages to read or reread for reassurance, and no distractions to soothe your insecurities. It's an arena where your inner strength is truly tested. And rather than focusing on why she's silent, you should shift your attention inward. Ask yourself, who are you when no one is texting you, when there's no constant stream of external affirmation? Who are you when the noise fades away, and all that's left is the quiet truth? This is where real growth happens, not in the way you perform for the world, but in how you stand when the world isn't watching. Stoicism teaches us that this internal battle, this mastery over oneself, is the true measure of a man. It's not about conquering others or proving something to the world. It's about cultivating the ability to stay grounded in yourself when the world offers no external comfort. The temptation may be to view her silence as something to be fixed, to see it as a problem to solve. But this is an opportunity, a summons to reclaim your own strength and power. Her silence isn't about her, it's about you. It's a challenge to reflect on who you are beyond the role of a partner or a texter. What does your character look like when there's no one else around to validate or affirm you? In this space, you don't want your legacy to be defined by things like being the best texter or by fleeting moments of external validation. Instead, aim to cultivate something deeper, something more enduring. Her silence should be a reminder, not to try to win her back, but to win yourself back, to reconnect with your inner resilience and find a sense of peace that doesn't rely on anyone else. In modern life, we're constantly bombarded by messages, likes, and notifications, but true strength, true stoicism, comes from the ability to be at peace with yourself when the noise disappears. This is the journey you're called to embark upon, not one of dependence, but of self-mastery. Thanks for watching, guys. If this video opened your eyes and gave you a new perspective, imagine what truly mastering the Stoic path could do for you. It's not just about handling silence in relationships, it's about handling life's challenges with control, clarity, and confidence. So, if you're ready to take your life to the next level and embrace a mindset that turns obstacles into opportunities, hit that subscribe button now and join a brotherhood of men who choose strength over chaos, wisdom over emotion, and peace over noise. And always remember, silence isn't always an ending. Sometimes it's just the beginning of something greater. Stay strong, stay focused, and I'll see you in the next one.